Hello everybody, Epi here and welcome to my living room. This is where the magic happens, where I, on my little old PS5, take over the living room and drive my wife absolutely insane doing all the content that I do. So it's a new year. Sadly, some things are not new. I'm still saving up for the PC. I'm 60% of the way there, but I will get there eventually. But I just wanted to firstly say I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, and to wish you all a Happy New Year. I personally was very ill through December, so unfortunately, a combination of being ill, working full time, and having to see the family, I make it sound like it's a chore. But yeah, sadly, my content did suffer a little bit, not too much, but it did. I did have to drop it off a little bit. But I'm back now, feeling recharged, and looking forward to 2023. So I thought it would be first nice to wish you all a Happy New Year, being the 1st of January. Tick. That's now done. And then to just share with you some of the things that have caught my eye. So some of the games over the next 4 months that I probably will cover. And then 3, just to share with you a concept or a trial idea that I'm going to do. Of course, you'll be able to put your thoughts in the comment section below. Please do. But yes, before I go through the list of games, it would just be good to mention that this list is not an exclusive list. There will be games that extra games that come up, so this is not all I'm going to cover. New games will appear, or other things will catch my interest. Obviously, the list that I'll show you shortly, as I find out more about these games, I might decide that they're not actually for me, or they really are for me. As I say, I do this obviously part-time. It's a hobby. It's not my full-time job. So I want to play games that I think you'll all enjoy. But of course, it's something that I want to enjoy too, and that's obviously the way that it should always be. But yeah, so with that said, the first game for me is Forspoken. Earmarked to come out on January the 24th, Forspoken is an action role-playing game published by Square Enix. It's described as a terrain traversal, speed and fluidity focused game. Essentially, you play as a female protagonist called Frey, who has been teleported from New York City into a new mysterious world that's under the tyrannical rule of a character called Tantus. In this game, you will be finding your way around a large open world and using a combination of magical powers and terrain traversal to find out what has happened and how you can get home. It seems to me like it might just be a nice little game as an early New Year game, just to slowly ease yourself back into after the excitement of God of War. Having said all that, literally 3 days behind Forspoken, 27th of January is the Dead Space remake. Now, I have a confession, I have not played this game. I never played the original. These kind of games never really appealed to me in the past until I played Alien Isolation. If you have not played that game, I highly recommend you go and play that. It's a game that really plays on the atmosphere and builds tension and fear. I never thought I'd like a game like that ever before, and Dead Space really does seem like it's that kind of game that kind of has that atmospheric fear element to it, even though you do have more weapons in it. I did have those hopes for Callisto Protocol, but sadly, with Callisto Protocol, it was literally jump scares and gore. And to be honest with you, that was not very scary for me. So yes, I was disappointed with Callisto Protocol, but I have very high hopes for Dead Space. I get the impression that this is how it should be. I will stream it because you guys will love watching me be scared. Not my usual type of game, but I'm hoping Hogwarts Legacy can convert me. So this game comes out on the 10th of February and has been getting a lot of attention online. So essentially it's based on the Hogwarts school from the popular, well-known Harry Potter books. And you find yourself being able to do a lot more in this than the previous Harry Potter games, which I'm hoping will make it a lot more enjoyable. So with this, for example, you can customize your character and you can, for example, be in any of the 4 house groups, and you can have more branching options and make more decisions. You are no longer tied to the Harry Potter books themselves, which gives the game a lot more scope and a lot more creativity. So I'm intrigued as to what it can do. I think this game is going to be very hit or miss, so people will either love it or it's going to be an absolute failure. It's probably going to be one of those games that people are not so sure about, and may find useful to get someone else to spy, watch an hour of it online, for example me, or someone else, and then decide whether it's for them. But yeah, we'll see. I will keep very close tabs on it as time goes on. Listed as coming out on the 28th of Feb is a game called Scars Above. Now, this game doesn't seem to be getting too much attention, actually, but it's caught my eye. You play as, obviously, a female protagonist, and something unusual has entered Earth's orbit, and as an astronaut, you're sent to explore and find out what it is. And you find yourself, once again, much like Forspoken, warped into an alien world, and then you have to find your way back off of it. Now, this one, unlike Forspoken, which is, as mentioned before, more of a adventure terrain-driven type of game, this one is a lot more of an action third-person shooter, as you go around finding weapons, upgrading equipment, getting stronger and stronger, and finding out what exactly this object is that has entered Earth's orbit and how you can defeat it and find your way back home. Yeah, this one does actually look good. I am optimistic with this one. I think this one might be a hidden gem. I'll certainly see. We've got about 2 months to find out what comes out about it. But yeah, looking forward to this one. Come on, Ubisoft, do not let me down. So earmarked for the 9th of March is their game Skull and Bones. Now think of this game as the Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the much loved Assassin's Creed game, combined with Sea of Thieves, and you're kind of along the right lines of what they're trying to do here. Now, it looks like it's everything that you want. You can customize your ships, you can customize yourself. The ships have different weapons and parts that you can put on them. You can have a fast, agile ship, you can have a large cargo ship. Each one will handle differently. Each one will have its own strengths and weaknesses as you're off exploring, collecting treasure, and stealing and taking out other players, as this is a multiplayer game, much like, as I mentioned, Sea of Thieves. Now, there is, however, one sad caveat to be aware of. 5 months ago, they did release a trailer showing it all, and unfortunately it did not go down well, as it showed absolutely no foot combat and no boarding from ship to ship. They heavily implied in that trailer that your crew do all of that for you, and it looked like essentially you are just sat on your ship, unable to go across onto enemy ships or onto land yourself, as you attack forts literally just from your deck. Now, I'm hoping they have taken on the feedback that they got from that trailer 5 months ago, and they have put that stuff in there. If they have, then this game could be absolutely amazing. Think Assassin's Creed Black Flag with brand new graphics and a lot more customization and options. Now, hopefully, Ubisoft, this is Ubisoft, will not mess it up and limit you to your ship, and they will not put microtransactions in it. But I will not hold my breath. We will see. I will keep tabs on it. We've got 3 months until it releases. We will find out what comes out over those months. So Capcom will be releasing their next remake. They're on their remake streak at the moment. Resident Evil 4 comes out on the 24th of March, and I cannot wait to play it. For me, after Resident Evil 4, they began to lose their way. So after that, 5, 6, it just got too too goofy, over the top, and it lost the horror and creepy element to it. 4 was that little balance between the two. It did lose some of that creepy factor that 1 and 3 had, the scare elements to it, and the combat goofy bits did start to creep in. It kind of hit that little sweet spot in between, and I feel that that's where it should stay, or it should go back towards the horror element that it had in 1 and 3. So with this remake, they've certainly done that. They look like they put a lot of effort into this one, like they did with the remake of Resident Evil 2. So it's a lot more creepy, darker and sinister. The new graphics in particular really actually show actually how gruesome this is, unlike the original. I feel that they've made some changes to it as well. Well, they have. They haven't done any major story changes, but it's not a straight remake either. Certain elements have changed. They have moved things around a little bit so that you will not get the exact same experience that you got by playing the previous Resident Evil 4. Little things have been tweaked, and I don't want to spoil too much for you, but for example, I'll give you the one little tweak. You may remember at the beginning of Resident Evil 4, there is a dog that you can save at the very beginning, and he comes to save you later on in the game. In this remake, unfortunately, when you get to that point at the beginning where the dog is, there's no way you're saving that dog. He is beyond saving. He is completely gone. And yeah, it's that kind of little tweaks they've made just to make the game a bit more creepy and scary and not as goofy as it was in the original. So this one's a little bit different than the rest. This is going to be the Horizon Forbidden West DLC called Burning Shores, which comes out on the 19th of April. So with this, you take off after the events of the main game, and you find yourself heading off to Los Angeles, the untamed wilds of Los Angeles, that is, which now has become a volcanic archipelago with new climbing feats to achieve and new waters to explore, and helping fight against enemies with your clan teammates. So with this one, it's important to note that it's only coming out on the PlayStation 5, this DLC, at present. So unfortunately, if you own a PlayStation 4, you will not be able to get the DLC as it stands. I will be doing both. My plan is to stream, but also do trophy content, as I'm assuming, much like the main game, there's lots of hidden gems and trophies and relics and puzzles to do. So yes, I will cover everything in this, and I hope you enjoy watching me play it or find the guides useful. And then finally, Dead Island 2, coming out 28th of April. Really looking forward to this one. I hope it's a lot like the first one. Very goofy, very much over the top, with crazy weapons and crazy skill trees, giving you some really unusual abilities. Really looking forward to getting back into this, getting a machete, equipping it with an electric power, and then using it to chop off limbs and things like that. There's two characters I've been able to see so far that you can play as. First one being Amy. One of her special abilities is that she gets a minor damage boost when she attacks isolated zombies, and she also regains stamina when hitting a zombie with a thrown weapon. And then our next character I've seen is called Jacob. Now he gets a moderate critical damage boost when his stamina is low. Critical hits also regen stamina, and he gets a stackable minor damage boost when attacking enemies in quick succession. So you've got those little elements there. There's a few more characters, at least one more I know that needs to be revealed, and I'm hoping, as I say, that they'll have lots of those Easter eggs that I will be able to reveal in trophy guides and show off every little thing, because this is no doubt going to have lots of hidden items like the first one. Ooh, and those are the games that I'm currently looking at between now and April. As I said earlier at the beginning anyway, they are not the only games that I'll be looking at. Everything changes, more games will be popping up, new things will be coming along. And so yeah, those are just my thoughts at the moment. And so we do have a little gap between now and the first game, Forspoken, which comes out at the end. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do in these next few weeks while I wait. I'm thinking about maybe doing some of the old school Resident Evils, maybe even the old school Prey, but I'm really actually drawn to Code Veronica, funny enough, but I was thinking I may do the Resident Evils 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 and Code Veronica in the run-up to Resident Evil 4. Just a bit of old school nostalgia, but we'll see. I'll have a look and I'll find something to fill the time until these new games come out. You always get that little lull after Christmas, obviously, where all the game developers want to get everything out just before Christmas so that everyone buys it then, and then you get this little gap afterwards until really April, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, we'll see how things go. Thank you for watching all of that. If you're still here, I would obviously like to just share something that I would like to look at doing next. So I did a while back a video called The Good, the Bad and the Epi. It was essentially my thoughts on a much hyped game at the time called Stray. Chances are you've heard of it. But anyway, don't go watch that video. I had no script. It's truly awful. Yeah, but I did enjoy kind of sharing my thoughts about the game. And I must admit, I really like the title really draws to me. So the good, the bad, and the epi. The epi meaning epilogue or conclusion, and obviously that's the name I go by, epi. So that brings me, I'm embarrassed to say, a little bit of joy. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to do more of them, essentially. And after all, as you all know, YouTube is clearly lacking in people that do game reviews. So, you know, for reasons I'll explain shortly, I'm thinking of doing a trial where I basically do the good, the bad, the epi reviews, but in a live stream format. Essentially, I'll still do a review as a live stream though. I'll put a note up in advance so you'll be able to see when I'm going to do it. And then I will have my notes, I will give you my thoughts, what I liked, what I didn't like, and kind of my overall conclusions as a live stream. And then I will stay. And if people want to then put in their chip in the comment section, or even while I'm speaking, we'll see how it goes. But then they can chip in and give me their thoughts, their opinions, what they made of the game, things like that. It just allows me to have more of a discussion with you. So instead of me just being another reviewer giving you their opinion in a pre-recorded video, which then you watch and you don't really get any context or any further dialogue with the reviewer and why they came to those conclusions. I just feel like it would be nice to do a review with a more dynamic format, a dynamic approach. You know, as I say, I can engage more with you all, and those that have views or having opinions can obviously chirp in the comment section and not combat, but obviously if you don't agree, you can say them. I actually like to hear other people's opinions even if I don't agree with them. It's good. It's not always easy. We all like to have our echo chambers, and I won't go preachy. You know, Facebook and YouTube and the algorithms are all designed to give you what you like to hear, and so you've all probably heard of the echo chambers, and we all get into them. But with these kind of things, it's nice to hear other people's opinions on things. I mentioned earlier Callisto Protocol, how I didn't really enjoy it so much because I personally prefer my horror to be atmospheric and things like that, and not gore, blood. Sorry, I have to keep touching my iPad because it's got my script on it, though I have gone off script now. Yeah, how I prefer anyway. Atmospheric horror, like Alien Isolation. And Callisto Protocol was more gore and jump scary, and it wasn't scary. So other people, and then therefore if I was to review it, I'd be honest and say I didn't really enjoy it. But someone else might love that. And that's fantastic. And the great thing is, if I could have those kind of conversations with someone while doing a review, then someone that maybe isn't as confident and doesn't want to chirp in, they can see that conversation taking place and they can base their decision not purely on my opinion. They can hear my opinion, and someone else might have really loved Callisto Protocol, and they can hear their opinion. And I can have that conversation with that person about why they liked it and why I wouldn't like it. It's just everyone's different. Everyone has different tastes, personal preferences, things like that. And then that's why I feel it'd just be a better way. It's more of a community, if I'm honest. It's cheesy, isn't it? But more of just a community conversation around things. Because that way, as I say, the person I speak to, or the people I speak to, I'm more engaged with. And the people that are more shy and more reserved, they get more of a feed of different opinions, and they can base their own conclusions off of a bigger range of opinions. As I say, a lot of reviews, it's people that give their review in a pre-recorded video and then they move on. And that's it. And you don't really understand them. I would say the important thing with reviewers is that try and follow a reviewer, whoever they are, that you believe they're being honest with their opinion. And by that I mean, don't follow reviewers that just like the games you like, or like the type of things you like, and if you got a reviewer that does like myself, that doesn't like gore, doesn't really care about gore, not that I don't like it, but then if I say I don't like Callisto Protocol because of the gore and all of that, you know, if you love gore, that that is your kind of thing. You know that I am giving you a truthful review and things like that. It's. I think as channels get bigger and larger, and I do not blame them for this, they the calculation changes. So if they want to get their pre-ordered copies, the preview copies, the pre-release copies of games and all that, they have to sit on the fence a bit more. They have to not be as critical to games. Otherwise, next year when that developer brings out the next game, they won't give that reviewer an early version of it. And I'm not blaming them for that, because at the end of the day, as you get bigger, you do have more responsibilities. You will have staff that you need to pay, and those staff have mortgages and kids to feed and things like that. And so the calculation does change. It's not a criticism of those people at all. I think it's GameX, that channel, huge one, incredibly popular. They do it really well. They have that balance where they have to try and give a fair, honest review, but not bow to the pressure that companies will put on them to give them positive feedback and that. Because obviously GameX and things like that, they get early copies because they are liked by the game developers. So yeah, it's tricky. If you got a reviewer that you feel gives you the truth, or their truthful opinion, whether you agree with their opinion or not, follow them. Honestly, follow them. Big old tangent there. I don't know if I'm going to keep this in here. I may edit all of this out and completely do this again. But yeah, I just feel that with reviews, follow the person that you know is giving you their honest and truthful opinion. And yeah, and I hope that I will always do that. You know, I don't have a crystal ball, but yeah, I don't see why I ever would change. You know, even if it will never happen, but if my channel was to explode and I became incredibly popular, I wouldn't if I didn't like a game, I'd say, even if it meant that the next time that the next Capcom made Resident Evil 7 remake, you know, if it meant that I wouldn't get that early, then so be it. You know? Yeah, I'd like a conversation, a discussion with people of different opinions, because there are things I miss in games all the time. I like to get everything. I like to collect all the trophies. I like to, as much as possible, as long as time commits, with obviously working full time, I like to try and get as much as I can out of a game. But even I do it. I miss things. I won't find the most efficient way of doing things. Sometimes I even put up these trophy guides of ways to get trophies, and I do them a different way, but I found another way that it could be done that I think others might find useful. I put up a trophy guide for Sniper Elite 5. It was authentic. The challenge was to do long shots on the hardest difficulty setting over far distances, I remember it. And I found this cheese method, a way to do it by cheesing the game. Essentially what you do is you'd have the game on easy mode, take the shot, which obviously was really easy to do on easy mode because the marker would pinpoint exactly where the bullet was going to go. And then during the cinematic of the bullet travelling, you could pause the game, put it onto hard mode or authentic mode, and then unpause it. And then the bullet would hit the enemy and it would trigger. And because when the bullet actually killed the enemy and the game was on the authentic mode, it would count. And I remember, and I probably still will, I got the odd comment about why would people do it? I made it really obvious in the title. It's a cheese method. I put cheese methods, first shot guaranteed. It's cheese, complete cheese. And I was getting comments like, why would you do it this way? You know, who does it this way? Blah, blah, blah. And I remember responding to one of them saying, well, there's lots of reasons why someone might want to do it this way. Yeah, it's cheese, complete cheese. But those people somebody might not have time. They might have kids, they might have 5 jobs, and they might not have time to do it the real way. Or someone might have been trying to do it the real way for months, and one day they just don't care, they've had enough, and they just want to do it the cheese way. Fantastic, you want to do it that way? Great, I found a way for you to do it. It's free. You don't have to do it that way. At all. You see, you don't have to do it that way. No one's making you watch my video and you must copy what I did. If you want to do it the other method, which I did do, I did it the other way too, then fantastic. It's great, it's free. I don't make money off of the videos. None of this is monetized. But it shows how people can only think their way. They only think through their eyes. And we're all guilty of this. Even I do it, and you have to consciously try not to do it because we're human, we all are. But yeah, and that person was like, why would anyone do it this way, and and I wasn't being nasty to them. I just said there's lots of reasons. And if that guide, it got patched unfortunately for them, but if people found that useful at the time and they wanted to do it that way, good on them. Fantastic, I'm happy for them. They want to do it the other way, find my other video, or look at someone else that's done it that way. Great thing about the internet is it's free. YouTube, unless you pay for the premium. You know, and I have gone on a tangent, but it is somewhat connected in the sense of it's why I like to discuss things with people, like reviews and my comment section and things like that, because there's always things that you will miss or disagree on or not understand. And if I did a review on a game and somebody disagreed with me and they're constructive about it, that's fantastic. But of course, if they're not constructive and they're not polite about it, then it's a different story. But yeah, I would really like to do these reviews it's going to be hard because the internet, YouTube comment section sometimes, in a way that is community. Everybody kind of talks in a group and works together to collectively give their opinions. And if everyone is polite and courteous and that, there's nothing wrong with me hating a game and someone else loving it. Who am I to tell them they're wrong? But if you know I love atmospheric horror games like Alien Isolation, and then I play Dead Space Remake, and I say, oh, it's fantastic, it's brilliant, then you know that I like that type of game, and if I'm then recommending Dead Space, you know whether it's for you or not. You know, if you don't like scary atmospheric horror games, and I love it, you know that it's not for you. If you love horror atmospheric games, and I'm saying I love it, then it's a good indication that it's for you. But yeah. Anyway, I'm probably going to replay this and we'll see how much of a tangent it all goes and all that. But yeah, thank you so much if you are still here watching this video. And thank you for supporting me if you're subscribed. As I say, I don't make money on these things, and these videos take a long time to make. This one today has taken me almost 24 hours to do. I have been doing other things while doing it, but yeah, I had learnt a lot when I started doing these YouTube clips actually as to how long these do take. They take a lot of time. Oh, I've got company. Hello, Cleo. Right, yeah, that might be my time to leave. Especially as this is meant to be a New Year's video, and here in the UK, I'm not sure what the time is. 5 to midnight. So I need to get this up and rendering. Well, otherwise it's going to be the 2nd of January. And I have got work tomorrow. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you're subscribed, thank you. It's appreciated. I need to get on the comment section actually and respond to some messages because I have been ill. But I respond so far. I've responded to like 90% of the comments so far. Good or bad. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, thank you again for supporting the channel. I hope that you like what I do, and any feedback, constructive, as long as it's constructive, you know, it doesn't always have to be good and positive, love what I do. You know, we all make mistakes. I once accidentally made a clickbait video. Genuinely because I was new to it, I accidentally did it. And I had to quickly change the title. Partially due to limitations of the PlayStation, I couldn't really. I'm limited in what I can change and alter. But yeah, we're not all invincible. We all make mistakes. It wasn't an intentional clickbait title at all. I quickly changed it as best I could. But yeah. Anyway, before I get to another tangent, thank you for watching. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna end the stream, upload this, and then I'm gonna have to go to bed because I've got work in a few hours. Yeah. Thank you all from me. Bye bye.